Hello everyone, I'm Mark, and you're watching Living Well, Uintah Basin, where success is defined by you. On this episode, we have a special extended edition of Your Way. I'll be going out to the turf farm, the local indoor soccer field, to meet two local residents who each have an inspiring story of overcoming tragedy while still maintaining an active lifestyle. Then on Dish by Dish, Lynise will be joined in the kitchen by Jeanne Lewis of Warriors Warehouse, who will show us a healthy alternative for your Thanksgiving dinner. It's gonna be a great show. Let's get after it. Come with me, guys.
Living Well, Uintah Basin, presented by Ashley Regional Medical Center. Also made possible by Warriors Warehouse and Uintah Recreation District. Living Well, Your Way.
Hello everyone, and thanks for watching another episode of Living Well. And during Your Way here, I've got a two-part series. I've met two guys playing soccer that truly inspire me. And we're down here at the turf farm, that's what we call it, right? Yeah. Well, whatever, the indoor facility owned by Uintah Recreation. And on the soccer team that I play on, there's two guys that have had some pretty life-changing accidents, injuries. And the first one is Jared Nelson. Jared, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, so you served in the Army, is that correct?
I was a Marine.
Marine. I messed up right there, didn't you? You don't mix the Army and the Marines, right?
That's all right.
The Marines are the tough guys. They're always in the front, right? They always do the dirty work. So what happened to you?
I was on a combat mission and got hit with an IED.
IED. Where were you at? Where were you deployed at?
I was in Iraq. We were outside of Fallujah, Iraq. We got hit with the IED. Vehicle rolled over, went into a canal, got trapped in the vehicle, was unable to get out. Was under for about 5 minutes. Came out, they had to revive me, all that. Spent 11 days life support, all the fun stuff, I guess.
Technically dead, right?
Yeah.
So for the folks at home, an IED, improvised explosive device,
Yep.
hits your armored vehicle.
Correct.
Puts you in the river.
Right. We were running next to a canal, lifted us up, rolled us down into the canal.
Yeah, I mean, this is, and at the time, if the story you tell me, it collapsed your lungs.
I had 2 collapsed lungs. They had to cut me open, rearrange my organs from the blast. My heart cavity was flooded. They had a tube breathing for me, and I had a T-line or an A-line, I can't remember what to call it, but they were pumping adrenaline into my heart to keep me going.
It was bad, is what you're telling me. Yeah, but, and then they tell you, you might not ever run again, your lungs might not ever fill up again.
Right.
And you basically told them, not me. That's not going to happen to me, right?
Yeah, no, the injuries were bad enough that I was medically retired from the Marine Corps. I wasn't able to meet the physical fitness standards that the Marine Corps had. And so I was medically retired. So
you go from that, and you're seeing these guys, and there's obviously some guys that had it worse than you.
Right.
Lost limbs, burns,
right.
This kind of stuff. But they inspired you, right?
Correct. Yeah. I had a lot of good buddies out there. 70% burns, missing limbs, who had a smile on their face every day, and it's pretty hard to complain about the little problems I had when you see those guys going forth every day.
Maybe it's not so bad to get off the couch and go run a mile with your wife after you hear stories like that, right? And you got to meet some cool people. George Bush.
Right.
He came.
Yep. President Bush.
He came, and since he was the guy that sent you, he physically cared about you, right?
Yes, he did.
Yeah. And now I look at you, and you play soccer with you run circles around me.
I don't know about circles. Obviously, I don't run. I'm not what I was, or I never will be able to be that as much as I was. But it's fun just to be able to have that little bit of soccer back in my life. I think you take stuff for advantage when you don't have it, and when you do have it, when it's taken away is when you realize how important it is. And something as simple as playing soccer really, it meant a lot to me, and I had to have it taken away. And so for me to even come and be able to play for 3 to 4 minutes before having to get subbed is a big accomplishment for me.
Yeah, and it's a big deal for our team. We wouldn't win without this guy. But I've got to say, we're talking about on this show, how do we inspire ourselves? And you're an inspiration to those folks that are out there, probably looking for a way to start, clinically dead, and he's come back and defied the odds and lives what I would consider a full and healthy lifestyle. Honored to know you, pleasure to be your friend, and thank you for being on the show. You got any last words for the folks at home?
I just say life's always going to give you excuses. You just got to get past them and get up off the couch, like Mark said, and live it to its fullest.
Wise words. Stay tuned for the next part. John Nurden's the next guy on our team. Talk to you in a minute.
Living Well Health and Wellness Tip brought to you by Warriors Warehouse.
Elderberry or SAMBUCUS is a unique berry. It helps with fighting the flu or other viral infections.
When using SAMBUCUS for seasonal influenza, it needs to be dosed 15 milliliters 4 times a day, and that needs to be started within 24 to 48 hours of the onset of symptoms and continued for 7 days.
All right, now I promised you it was a 2-part series. I brought John Nurden in with me, and usually we don't do this where we spend 2 segments at the same location, the same subject. But the reason I wanted to do this is, we talked to Jared Nelson and, hit by an explosive device, basically clinically dead. You had a similar experience. I met John years ago, and he ran up to me in the rec center and said, "Hey, you want to play basketball?"
I think it was more, do you want to coach your kid?
Yeah, you want to coach, yeah, but the key was you ran up to me, and I knew you for years before I found out that in your life you'd suffered a devastating car accident.
Sure.
Tell me a little bit about what happened at the car accident.
So it was a head-on car wreck, no brakes. The impact was about 130 miles an hour.
Combined speeds.
Yeah. And everybody lived.
Yeah.
We all life flighted out, and I spent half a year in a wheelchair.
Half a year in a wheelchair, and again, keep in mind, I knew John for years before I knew this, because he never doesn't talk about it. It's not something you say, "Hey, listen, pity me," but in this 6 months in the wheelchair, there was a point where you couldn't even walk.
Yeah, so I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
I had casts on my legs, and I was not allowed to walk, and it took 9 months for my leg to heal.
9 months, and you told me the story about the day you took your first steps. Relay that to these guys.
So I was at the rehab center, and they put you on a walker, and they put a wheelchair right behind you. And I took 3 steps, and I fell down, and I was sweating like I'd been playing soccer for an hour. And my wife showed up a little later, and we did the same thing again. And everybody in the whole place was crying, and it was kind of...
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about being out of
moment.
it for 9 months. You have a head-on collision that usually you think of that, a wheelchair, if not death. And you come all the way back from that, and I know you as the guy. I mean, you're basketball, you're the head soccer coach for the high school team, and not only do you coach the boys, but you go out and run with them the whole time, right?
We tend to play a lot. I enjoy it. I never thought I would play again, so every time I get to play a little, it's worth being there.
It's repeating the thing that Jared told us earlier. Every moment's precious because it was taken from you from a short time, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Go ahead and tell these guys how you knew Jared.
Jared showed up to play soccer with us one day, and I'm telling him about my story and asking him a little bit about how he got physically hurt. We just got talking, and when I told him my story, he said, "Are you John Nurden?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, you were my scout leader when I was 14." And I was. I had been his scout leader when he was growing up, so that was kind of an interesting.
And now you're playing soccer in Vernal, Utah. But I think the point is, and we talk about it all the time, how do I get started? It's too hard. I can't do this. But what would you say? I mean, you really couldn't do this, and now you can. So what do you say to these guys at home?
It's just worth it. Anytime you can get out and be active, it's just worth it. The next day when I can't walk, it's still worth it.
Yeah, it's worth it. Get out, be active. 2 inspiring stories. I have the pleasure to play with him soccer every week. Thanks a lot, John.
Living Well, Dish by Dish.
I'm in the kitchen today with Jeanne Lewis from Warriors Warehouse. Jeanne, I'm really excited to have you on today. I think this time of year we have a lot of just overload with just junk food and just we're not eating as healthy as we should be.
Exactly.
And you're here today to show us a healthy recipe and how easy it is to maintain healthy eating even through the holidays.
Definitely. So today I'm going to show a quinoa stuffing. It's one that is going to be lower on the glycemic index as well as it's going to be gluten-free. So kind of our first thing to do is going to be prepping the fruits and vegetables to go in the stuffing. So I'm going to show you a proper way to cut so that it will cook more evenly. So like when you're doing the apple, you want to cut each side off because you want a flat surface. Anytime you're cutting fruits, vegetables, anything, if you have a flat surface, then it gives you a better grip so that you're not trying to move around with it and less dangerous.
Not flying all over the place with it.
On this particular recipe, we want the apples fairly thin. And then once you've sliced them in a few slices, then you're gonna hold it from the side and then you're gonna dice it into smaller chunks.
Okay, so you're actually chunking the apple out.
Exactly.
Cutting it into
And you'll
chunks.
do the same thing. You need 2 apples for this recipe.
Okay.
Then you also need 2 sweet potatoes or yams. The difference between a sweet potato and a yam is the yam is the one that has the orange flesh, and the sweet potato has a white flesh like a regular potato, but it's sweeter. It is lower on the glycemic index. Most people associate Thanksgiving with the yam though.
Yeah, I think most people, yams are pretty traditional.
We're gonna add a little bit of lemon juice to the apple, just so that it doesn't get brown when it's in the oven.
Okay.
So for the sake of today, this would normally be 2 apples.
You're leaving this part of the core.
Leaving that part of the
Okay.
core. I don't worry about that. It just keeps it easier to chunk it.
Okay.
I usually do probably about a teaspoon of lemon juice. You don't need very much, and just kind of sprinkle it around,
Okay, we're just doing some flavor here is what we're doing.
and also to help it from browning. So for the sake of time, we've already cut up the yam.
Okay. Same thing, we're just chunking the yam
Just
out.
chunk it up, so peel it and then cut it in half so you have a flat surface, and then just make sure you always have a flat surface.
Okay.
And the cooking time will depend on how small you do it. I did fairly small chunks so that it doesn't take as long to
Yeah,
cook.
cooks up a little faster that way.
So once you've got that in there, then you're just going to pretty much cinnamon to taste. It doesn't have to be a lot, depends on how your family likes it.
If you like cinnamon like some of us do.
Then you'll do that. And then we also are gonna do a little bit of sea salt.
Okay.
Do that around. You're also gonna do 2 tablespoons of the coconut oil. You're gonna put it in a bowl and melt it and then pour that over the top.
Okay. So you melt the coconut oil.
You melt the coconut oil so that it evenly coats your fruits and vegetables.
And the coconut oil is a great substitute for like vegetable oil and things like that.
It is, and what's cool about it is you can actually also use it hair, skin, and everything. So while you're cooking, you can lick your hand. It won't taste bad.
Okay.
No, but it's once it's coated, then we're gonna go ahead and spray the pan. I actually like coconut spray just because it doesn't have any chemicals in it. It's just a healthier spray. It's a healthier fat, has MCT in it, so it doesn't store in your body. Unhealthy fats, hydrogenated oils actually store fat in the body. This will actually help you to burn fat more efficiently.
Oh, wow.
So, and we'll need that during the holidays. So you'll just evenly coat your 2 yams and your 2
And we didn't
apples.
do the full amount.
We
but
didn't do
you
the
would
full amount just for the sake
Yeah.
of time.
Okay.
You'll put that in the oven for 400.
Okay.
Cook it for 12 minutes, and then you're gonna wanna flip them over and then cook for another 12 minutes.
Okay.
If you've done larger chunks, you might need to cook it a little bit longer, but 12 minutes on each side should roast them and get them good and roasted.
Okay.
So the cool thing about quinoa is you can use it as in different casseroles, salads, and this particular stuffing is almost put together more like a salad versus cooking it like a casserole. There are traditional quinoa stuffings that have your celery and everything, but we decided to kind of mix your yam and your quinoa. So quinoa, we're using a tri-colored quinoa right here. And so it's got a mixture of white, red, and black quinoa. You can cook it in the rice cooker or just like you would normal rice.
Just boil it over the stove top.
Boil it over the stove top. It's 1 cup for 1.5 cup of water.
Okay.
And I've done about 2 cups of the quinoa.
Okay.
And so 2 cups cooked. And you
Now, for those that are wondering, I tasted this before and there's not a lot of flavor to it. So if you're thinking it's gonna have odd flavor or something, you're safe, it's okay.
Well, and quinoa is cool because it's a superfood. So it's got a complete protein, it's got fiber, and it also has omega-3s. So it's something that you can just eat, throw it in salads, especially good for a vegetarian or someone who's gluten-free, or if you just want to reduce meat. You can also throw it in chili and add it in with the beans, just because it's such a good protein source and omega source. So it's already been pre-cooked. The one thing I forgot to do is put maple syrup in with the coconut oil.
Okay.
So
and we're going to share the recipe. So any steps we forgot, we'll make sure.
So the maple syrup, you'll do 1/4 cup in with the coconut oil while you're coating it.
Okay.
So we've already done that step. And so we're going to...
So this is our cooked
This
product.
is our cooked product. So you've got your cooked apple and your cooked yam. As I make a mess in here.
It's okay, that's what a kitchen's for. If it's a clean kitchen at the end, you
didn't cook.
Yeah.
You went and got takeout and put it in a pan. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and mix it around. And quinoa is actually a seed. People are confused as to what it is. It's actually a seed, and it was found by the Incas. So it's kind of a thing that's coming on the market a lot. You'll see it a lot more.
Yeah, I had never heard of it till today, but I'm excited to
Yeah,
use it a little more.
And you know, my kids will eat it, and I've switched it out for even rice, just because it's lower on the glycemic index. Do fried rice. I mean, you can do a lot of different things. So then from here, we're going to add just some more cinnamon.
Love my cinnamon.
You know, it just gives it a good flavor. And then we're going to do about 1/2 cup of chopped pecans.
Okay.
And you can do them raw, or you can put them in the oven and toast them a little bit, if you like kind of the toasted flavor.
Okay.
And then we're going to add cranberries. So it really is kind of just a holiday mix of everything.
This is something you can use at your Thanksgiving dinner. If you don't want to use it at Thanksgiving, you can use it during the holiday seasons. There's lots of parties you're going to, or things you're cooking for. So what a fun recipe, and healthy. What a great healthy recipe as well.
Well, and like I was saying with quinoa before, you can use it as an entire meal instead of having to have, it's pretty much like a one-dish meal. So you can just have a bowl of something, because you've got fruits and vegetables, and you've got your protein source and your grain all in one.
Sure.
So it says about 1/2 cup of cranberries. I kind of like a little more.
to taste, right?
To taste. That one's not going to really matter that much. Then we're going to go back to maple syrup. And the difference between a maple syrup and and just like the maple syrup you get in the store, is that this is actual maple syrup,
Real
not
maple.
just.
This is the real stuff.
This is the real stuff. This is not the fake, just the flavoring. Because usually they just add high fructose corn syrup, flavoring, and water. And so this is the actual maple syrup. So it'll give it that mapley flavor.
Okay.
And so this is the other 4. So there was a total of 1/2 cup.
Okay.
So 1/4 was used for roasting the vegetables, and then the other 1/4 is used when we're just mixing it all in.
All right. And is that our final step?
That
then?
is our
We're ready.
final step. So you are ready to eat. Super easy. It's just, you get your ingredients and put them all together. It makes it really easy. And
Well,
really
and like
fun.
we said, healthy. I mean,
Healthy.
because I think that's the main thing we're looking for right now. So.
Well, it's so easy to get in your chocolate mint and your hot chocolates, but to try and get some veggies and fruits in during the holidays, it's a little harder. So, yeah.
So, Jeannie, they can find all these products down at your store, Warriors Warehouse.
Exactly.
If you're wanting to make this, she'll also give us a copy of the recipe, so you can get that online as well. I want to thank you for taking the time to come on and show us this recipe, and it's a great one. I'm excited to try it out myself. So, thanks again.
Well, we appreciate you having us on.
And until next time.
Having a baby is one of the most important events in your life. At Ashley Regional Medical Center, we are prepared to make that experience memorable by providing a secure and pleasant environment. When you arrive at our birthplace, you will be greeted by our award-winning OB nursing staff. Their desire is to make you as comfortable as possible and to provide you with all the information you need or want. You will be placed in one of our modern birthing suites. Family members are welcome, but only with your consent. During the labor process, the nursing staff will attend to your every need and monitor your progress. Your physician will be kept up to date by the nursing staff and attend you when it's time to deliver your bundle of joy. After your delivery, you will be taken to our beautiful and relaxing post-delivery rooms. Your care will still be monitored by our staff, and you and your baby will receive constant attention. Choose Ashley Regional Medical Center for your OB care.
Warriors Warehouse has the preventative and natural products you need to improve your overall health. Nutritional supplements for maximum performance? We've got that too. And if you're looking for the best variety of gluten-free food, the search is over. We also cater to the needs of our customers by providing individualized diet and supplement plans, skincare, and friendly professional service. We have the education and experience to answer your questions and give you first-class assistance, backed by our pharmacy-certified Dr. Lewis. Let us show you why we're your #1 source for health products.
Thanks for watching today's show. I want to thank John and Jared for sharing their story. This program was made possible by Ashley Regional, Warriors Warehouse, and Uintah Recreation District. We encourage you to express appreciation to our sponsors for helping VTV bring you this program. If you want to share your story, contact us at VTV. And until next time, live well, Uintah Basin.